Hello everybody, this is the last part of this data analysis with Excel. We previously talked about how to code the data, getting them ready for analysis, and how to do basic descriptive statistics. So this last section is about how to do more advanced statistics, which will obviously raise your grade because they're allowed to go more in depth into the interpretation of the data. So I'm back into my sheet 1, and I'm going to show you how to run a pivot analysis first. So we simply go into the insert and pivot chart and pivot table. So this will open another window. You select, click here. So it will open another file. Here I have sheet 11. And basically here you choose how to plot the two variables against each other to see if they are somehow correlated. You normally do it against the actual variable, so Q3, for example, as the x-axis against Q4. I'm going to actually drop it here. And then the sum of value is the sum of Q3. So as you can see, the result is it basically gives us a summary of the use, going to the gym as a motivation, and which is actually on, so we have on the x-axis the reason for going to the gym, and then on the y-axis how often do you use the cardio. Yeah, so that's the result, and basically it's telling us that people that are building strength, it's less likely to use the cardio, which is usually used by people that are trying to lose weight or maintaining fitness. In this other variable, I had the same. You can also do it in the other perspective. So put here Q4 and Q3 in the column, and then here put a count of Q4 just to see the difference of how the graph appears. And it's basically telling us that the people that are usually that are always utilizing the cardio are not those building strength, basically. So those building strength are rarely using the cardio. So that's kind of like a key cross tabulation. We could then the next step that I wanted to show you is how to evaluate actually the correlation between these two variables. So what I did is to run a correlation test. I'm going to just repeat it here. So to run the correlation test is we go to data analysis, correlation, and then we are going to choose as input range the actual two coded variables, cardio use and reason for going to the gym. Here they are. So I'm just going to select them as input range. Click back again into this, and then mention that you have labels, and then choose. I'm going to just put the output here of the analysis like this, and then click on OK. And that's the result. I mean, I did run it before. We know that one will be a complete correlation. For a significant correlation, we need to have at least 0.5. So there is not a huge correlation between these two variables. A reminder, you can open your Excel guide and read on how to interpret the data. Yeah, so in your overall Excel guide, you have more information, or also in the quantitative textbook from Breeman, which is loaded in Blackboard. So going back to my file, I will now I could run another test, which I'm going to do here. Again, another interesting things that we noticed before was the relationship between female and reason to sex and reason to go to the gym. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put Q1 as the axis. Actually, Q3 goes in the y-axis, and here I'm going to have the count is going to be the count of how many people of each sex choose different motivation. Actually, I made a mistake, and I need to put male and female in the y-axis, and Q3 in the x-axis. That makes more sense. And put the count of Q3 in the x-axis. So here put male or female. No, actually, it was better how I did it before. Let me just remove once again. So as you can see, like, you need to play a little bit around this table because they are obviously so. I will put in the axis, like, reason for going to the gym, and in the legend, in the y, being male or female, and doing the count of Q3 here. Yeah, so that's it. So it's basically giving us for each reason. So basically, we see that male are typically going to the gym for weight training, which was number 5. Female are instead divided between losing weight and fitness. So there is a little bit of a correlation between these two variables, particularly when it comes to male. We're going to test. I did the test again for seeing the correlation between reason for going to the gym and sex, and actually, yeah, the value is slightly larger. The R value is slightly bigger, but not as big as you would like. So there's just a slight correlation. So the last test that I'm going to try is actually a regression analysis. So I'll cancel this. So basically, in brief, a regression analysis is one that tries to see how a certain variable is explained by other variables. Basically, the way that it's run is as the following. So you go again into your data analysis, you open regression, you look for your y range, which is the dependent variable. So for me, the dependent variables is trying to see what influences the frequency for going to the gym. I want to see if certain variables influence how often people go, and that will help me particularly to evaluate the scheduling of all of how long I allow each instrument, for example, or each to be utilized at which time of the day. For example, as X range are all the variables that I think contribute. So I'm gonna just choose all of them: age, all the quantitative ones, age, how many minutes of cardio, how many minutes of weight, and how many minutes of overall stretching various activities across the gym, and see which one influence most my frequency of going to the gym. I did use label, and I'm going to leave everything else equal and choose new worksheet apply. So the analysis is done in a separate worksheet. So the information that I'm going to highlight is, first of all, I look at the observation and checking that it's all the numbers of observation that I had, which is 29, which is correct. The R square should be actually tell us how much variance is explained, how much of the frequency is explained by all those variables. I only have 14%, so it's not that I can predict the frequency based on the use of the machine. Another thing is the significance F. So I would be preferably looking at value over 0.5, so I'm not just there. And then I should see each the coefficient of each variable to see if it's at least the best coefficients would be over 0.5, but none of them are over 0.5. I can see that particularly one variable, cardio, it's very, very insignificant. So I'm thinking I could delete that variable and then run the analysis without it again. So I'm going to delete cardio from the sheet and try to run again the regression analysis without it. So data analysis, regression, my Y range is actually just frequency, and then I'm gonna go to my X range, which is composed by stretching, use of weights, and age. And let me evaluate now. I have labels, and now I find again I have 30%. The significance is actually decreased. So I'm not particularly improving the situation here. And it seems the age seems to be the possibly the variables that have a higher coefficient. So again, I just wanted to show you, like, with the data that I have, I didn't reach a significant R square, but nevertheless, I was able to show you how possibly to utilize regression for your data. I think I covered enough of the elements that were useful for you in that analysis. I'm just going to close the recording, but before, I want to remind you once again, just ask for a meeting with either me or Debbie, and we will be able to walk you through how to improve your statistical analysis. Thank you.